Well, welcome to Fractions, Part 6. Changing mixed numbers to improper fractions. Now, if you recall last lesson, we did just the opposite. We changed improper fractions to either mixed numbers or whole numbers. Well, now, we're going to learn how to change mixed numbers to improper fractions. So, we're going to learn how to take a mixed number like this, 2 1/4, and change it into an improper fraction. 9/4 would be that. And this is a real important skill also in working with fractions, especially in multiplication and division. So, before they do that, we're going to do a quick review, and then we'll get into it. Okay, before we go into changing mixed numbers to improper fractions, which is the lesson for today, let's review. And again, as I said before, you're developing quite a skill set in fractions here now. So, what are they? Well, we know fractions have a numerator, a division line, and a denominator. The denominator tells us what? How many pieces there are in one whole. The numerator tells us how many pieces we're interested in using. So here, there are 8 pieces in the whole. Oops, no good. If I could do it like this, I guess. Okay, sorry about that. So 8 pieces in the whole, and here we're interested in 7 of them. Okay, 7/8. We know types of fractions, so we have proper fraction where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Improper fraction, mixed number, and also that special kind of fraction where the numerator and denominator are equal, and that kind of a fraction is always equal to 1. We learned, we worked on putting fractions in their lower name. So if I had 3/12, and I say, well, what number goes evenly into 3, and the same number will go evenly into 12? Well, in this case, 3. So if I divide by 3 and divide by 3, 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 12 4 times. So the fraction 3/12, if I put it in its lowest name, I get the fraction 1/4. I'm going to erase these so I have some room. Then we put about making a fraction in its higher name. So if I had something like this, 2/5 equals how many 15ths? Well, I say 3 times what number will give me 15? Well, 3 times 3 will give me 15, so then I multiply this by the same number. 2 times 3 gives me 6. So 2/5, if I change it to a fraction whose denominator is 15, is 6/15, and I know that both of these fractions are the exact same amount. Their names are just different. And then in the last lesson we were changing improper fractions to whole numbers or mixed numbers. So if we had a fraction like, let's take 18/6, we divide the denominator into the numerator. It goes 3 times. Nothing is left over, so that's the whole number 3. Or if I had a fraction like, let's take 9/4, well, I would divide 4 into 9, which would go 2 times. And 2 times 4 is 8, so I have 1 left over. And it would be 2 1/4, and then I ask myself, is this in its lowest name? Yes, it is, so that's the answer. So we've got these 5 skill sets so far, which are really important. They're the foundations for working in fractions, so it's very important that we get them. Well, now, in this lesson, we're going to look at changing mixed numbers to improper fractions, which was the opposite of what we just did. Okay, changing mixed numbers to improper fractions. Well, we have the mixed number 2 and 1/4. The way we change a mixed number into an improper fraction is you multiply the denominator times the whole number. 4 times 2 is 8. I add the numerator. 8 and 1 is 9. And I use the same denominator. So 2 and 1/4, if I change it to an improper fraction, is equal to 9/4. And it makes sense because if you recall last lesson, if I had an improper fraction and I wanted to change it to a mixed number or a whole number, I divide the bottom into the top. 4 goes into 8 2 times. I'm sorry, 4 goes into 9 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. And I have 1 left over, which is 1/4. So what we're doing here is we're doing the opposite of what we did last lesson. Last lesson, we took an improper fraction and made it into a mixed number. This, we're taking the mixed number and turning it into an improper fraction. Let's take a look at another example. 5 2/3. It's a mixed number, and we need to change that into an improper fraction. Well, we multiply the denominator by the whole number. 3 times 5 is 15. We add the numerator, 16, 17. And we use the original denominator. So 5 2/3 is equal to 17/3. Okay, let's take a look at this example. 2 3/4. And I want to change this into an improper fraction. So I multiply denominator times the whole number. 4 times 2 is 8. I add the top, 9, 10, 11. And I use the same denominator. So this is a fairly easy skill set to change a mixed number into a mixed number into an improper fraction. Multiply the denominator or bottom times the whole number. Add the numerator or the top. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 goes on the top. Denominator stays the same. Okay, here are 4 problems for you. 1 4/7. Problem 2, 5 1/3. Problem 3, 6 2/7. Problem 4, 4 3/5. In your notebook, work these problems, put the DVD on pause, work the problems, then turn the DVD back on again, and we'll see how you did. Well, okay, let's see how we did. Let's take number 1 here. 1 4/7, and we want to change it to an improper fraction, so we multiply the denominator. 7 times 1 is 7, and add 4, that's 11. 11/7. Number 2, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1, 16/3. Number 3, well, we have to multiply the denominator times the whole number. 7 times 6 is 42. 43, 44, 44/7. And finally, 4 3/5. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3, 23/5. So, pretty easy, pretty easy. So to take any mixed number and to change it into an improper fraction, you multiply the bottom part, the denominator, times the whole number. 7 times 1, 7. You add the top part, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, and you use the same denominator, 7s. Let's try a few more. Okay, 4 more problems here. Number 5, problem 5, 9 1/2. Problem 6, 2 9/10. Problem 7, 8 3/4. And problem 8, 3 5/9. So put the DVD on pause and work those in your notebooks, and then turn the DVD back on again, and we will go over and see how you did. Okay, Let's see, number 5. Pardon me. Denominator is 2. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 1, 19 halves. Number 2, we have the mixed number 2 and 9/10. Multiply the denominator, 10 times the whole number 2 is 20, plus the numerator 9, so that would be 29 tenths. Here, 4 is the denominator times the whole number 8. 4 times 8 is 32, 33, 34, 35, 35 fourths. Of course, again, you've got to know your multiplication tables. It's just absolutely critical. And the last one, 3 5/9. We multiply the denominator 9 times 3, that's 27. 27 plus 5 is 32 ninths. Excellent. So, quick review. To change any mixed number into an improper fraction, you multiply the denominator, the bottom part, times the whole number. 9 times 3 is 27. You add the top part, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That becomes the numerator, and you use the same denominator. Well, thank you very much. Good job.